Hello guys, today in this video we are going to talk about the essay named Why I'm Not a Hindu, written by Kancha Ilahi. Guys, first of all, introduction to the essay. The critical essay Why I'm Not a Hindu has been written by Kancha Ilai, and it is written on the subject of class discrimination. It tells the readers about the wide gulf that exists between Dalit children and upper caste children in terms of their life at school, their ability to identify with what they are taught, and the value systems that are in their communities. Now the subject matter of this essay. The main subject matter of this writing is to criticize the upper class way of life that is very different from the lower class way of life. The author wants to say that in general, the Dalit Bahujan is known as equal to upper class, but in true senses, the Dalits are the victims of discrimination in the society. In every sphere of life, they have not been given the respect and equal treatment since the beginning of civilization to contemporary period. This essay has been written in autobiographical mode. This piece is a clear eyed documentation of alienation that is inevitably a part of the Dalit child's school life. The author concentrates on refusing a myth or refuting a myth that is concentrated by forces of Hindutva, that is, Dalits are also Hindu. There is no difference in their way of life. The gods they worship or value, they subscribe to. Elia shows the reader the differences that are elided or suppressed by this construction. These are basic differences which range from food habit to gender roles to religious beliefs. In this essay, the author shows a real picture of these two diverse systems of life. He throws the showers of satire on this artificiality of upper caste. He tried to gain our sympathy on the feeling of exclusion that is felt by the Dalits, the resentment and anger that is engendered or existed by the dominant ideology. In the end, the author makes an appeal for a change in ways of thinking, the recognition of the need to write a new version of history, and need to change the social fabric of Indian society. Now, author's view about the discrimination. The author has divided this essay into two parts. First, difference in treatment in a school. Second, difference in ideals. First of all, difference in a school. The author says that the first generation in Dalit Bahujan history to see a state, a slate and pencil, we jumped straight out the jungle into school. On the other hand, the the Brahmin Baniya children are the privileged. They are better dressed and better fed. Our culture and eating habits are different. As the meat and fish are good for us, we relish it. The Brahmin Baniya boys and girls, even the discussion about meat makes them feel like vomiting. These differences are the part of our upbringings. The school teacher attitude was also dependent on his own caste background. If he is a Brahmin, he hated us, told us to our faces that it was because of evil time that they are to teach the Dalits. According to the teachers, the upper class students are great because they did not do dirty work. They are clean and well dressed, but we did not do so because of our poverty. The author says that as they grew up stepping into higher classes, the stories they were taught were not heard by them in their families. The story of Rama and Krishna, Ramayana and Mahabharata occurred repeatedly for Brahmin Banya students. These stories are very familiar even they worship them in the form of the god. They saw the image of these deities in the temples. The boys bore the names of these gods and girls bore the names of goddesses. In the, but these names were alien to the Dalits. The name of Kalidas was as alien to me as Shakespeare. He says that there were the difference of language also, even the Telugu text was also the Brahmin Telugu. He says even today no Telugu text is written in production based communicative language. There is no description of the gods of Dalits. He says that poets and writers who born in Hindu families and later turned communist and rationalist, they too never picked up the contents of our daily life as their subject. Nobody thought that these Dalits also have soul they need to be talked about. He says childhood formation is important for a person, female or male, to become a full human being. But the childhood of the Dalits were mutilated by constant abuse and silence. He says that even after independence of or Swaraj, a word which even today I fail to understand, the school teacher was against us, the textbook was against us. Our homes have one culture and our school have another culture. If our culture was Dalit Bahujan, the school culture was Hindu. The gap between two enormous, there was no way in which one resembles the other. In fact, these two cultures were pole apart. The author says that Hindu girls and boys were married even when they were children. This system seems equal to ours, but when we read in books that when the husband of a woman died, she had to remain widow, shaved headed, clad in white. But in our culture, it is not so. In our families, girls whose in laws did not look after them well got divorced very easily, and within days, husbands were found for them. He was happy to think that our girl did not have a struggle like Savitri. He is also happy to think that we do not belong to such a religion where woman has to die with her dead husband. In all these stories and lessons we read about ideal men and women and of that culture that every was very different from ours. Now, Hindu idols and our idols. In Brahmin Vadas and families, narratives about heroes and heroines do not exist within a human context. This is because Brahmin's life is alienated from the kind of socio economic environment in which a real hero or heroine can constructed. In fact, Brahmanical culture praises negative heroines and heroes. For example, Krishna, who encourages one to kill one's own relative, is a hero. In Sudra Vadas, it is just opposite. There are number of real life situations from which ideal heroes and heroines are emerged. Their daily working interaction with the native provides the scope for their formation. One who kills relative for whatever the reason or one who commits crime for whatever the reason becomes a crook. One who encourages killing is not a god but devil. He says that Pochamma, Kartiyasamma, Emberappa are our gods, not because they killed someone but because they saved us from disease and hunger. In the idols of Hindus, the women are not given equal rights, but in our culture, women have equal rights to men. He says that the Brahmins, Banyas walked over the corpses of our culture. They were the gluttons, while our parents were the poor, starving persons. They produce everything for others and starve themselves. He says the children of the upper class were unskilled, while the lower caste children contribute to the national economy. Their notion of life was unworthy itself, but they repeatedly told our parents that we were the useless people. When we go through all stages of life, we reflect upon our childhood and its process. It is nothing but anger and anguish which keep burning in our hearts. Thus, the author wants to change in theories, traditions, and idols to equal both classes of society. So, guys, this is the beautiful essay and very heart touching and appealing essay written by Kancha Eli. I hope you will like it. Thank you.